So I've been playing Rainbow Six Siege with some friends lately, and we've been testing out an idea that we found on Reddit recently. It's called Shield Team 6, and basically it's just when your whole team plays as shielders, and you attack the objective and see what happens. It's actually pretty fun. Sometimes it turns out to be pretty effective, but like anything else, sometimes it can be quite the opposite, and it can turn out sometimes pretty dang bad. Breaching.
Smoke's ready.
I can throw a frag.
Oh god, grenade.
To our side! Oh god.
Oh crap!
What?
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
We just got freaking wrecked.
Oh,
We
no.
just got freaking wrecked. That guy's the happiest person.
In order to avoid situations like those, I put together a list of basic tips for you guys that want to start shielding. But a little disclaimer, keep in mind that I am by no means the best shielder out there, so these tips aren't going to be perfect, but they will give you a little bit of a head start if you want to start shielding.
Well done. Biohazard
Okay, so this tip is going to seem pretty apparent considering what we just watched, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't get too clumped up. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to stay on the opposite side of the map as all your teammates, but a few things you should keep in mind is that sticking in pairs rather than all together is sometimes a good idea. Maybe staggering your entrance, so one guy goes in, the next guy comes in a few seconds later after the first one is engaged and moved out of the way, so on and so forth. But really, just avoid getting clumped up in a room, standing shoulder to shoulder in front of someone with a nitro cell. It's not going to turn out well. Definitely didn't for us. Tip number 2 is to be careful when aiming and reloading. For both of these, you're going to be putting your shield down to complete the action, which gives the enemy an opportunity to hit you in the head. So for aiming, you only really want to aim if the enemy is reloading or unaware of your presence, and that way you're not going to give them an opportunity to hit you. For reloading, same applies as with aiming down sight, but the best time is still when you're in cover or out of combat. But also remember that you will generally reload faster than your enemy because you're using a pistol. Tip number 3 is to engage your enemies at a safe distance, but not too far. Now what I mean by that is that you should be engaging your enemies at a distance far enough away from them that they're not going to be able to easily toss out a nitro cell at you, but also not too far that you're not dealing very much damage with your pistol anymore. Now a nitro cell is a shielder's worst enemy. They can easily take you out, and you never want to be caught in a blast radius of one of those things. But when you're too far away, your pistol's not going to be doing enough damage to take him down unless you hit him in the head, which is going to be hard to land with a pistol.
One friendly operator remaining.
Tip number 4 is to avoid rappelling and sprinting. Now in both of these actions, your shield's going to be either away or on your back, so it's not going to be protecting you like it would be as if you were on the ground. So if you're rappelling, make sure that you're not engaging enemies through windows because you're not going to be very effective at that sort of situation. Now for sprinting, just make sure you're aware of your surroundings and that you know someone's not going to be coming around the corner mowing you down. Tip number 5 is to be aware of what your shield is protecting. If you're standing, your torso and head are going to be protected, but your legs and back are going to be exposed. If you're crouched, your whole front is going to be covered, but your back is exposed. And if your shield's on your back's covered, but your legs and front are exposed. So just be aware of what your shield is protecting and put it where it needs to be for the situation you're dealing with. Okay, so those are all the tips I have for you guys today, but I do have one little reminder, and that is that you're playing against other humans that are adapting to the situation just like you are. So these tips aren't going to work in every situation. So just be wary of that. Remember that no situation is perfect. So sometimes you're going to have to improvise. I hope you guys find these tips useful and that you enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Hostiles neutralize the threat. 1 op 4 remaining. Secure the room. Protect the bio container. Op 4 eliminated.